Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pluck and Chuck guitar series, and today I'm going to show you how I play the intro song that I play in, well, the intro to the Pluck and Chuck guitar series. It was written by a friend of mine, Prudence Delilah, and Prudence is still composing. I can hook you up if you're interested, and yeah. So, this song basically has three sections. It's got sort of the intro, has this what I call a downbeat groove, and then there is sort of a bridge section where it's got this really funky. Yeah, it's this really funky syncopated groove, and well, I feel like there's another section in there somewhere. There's some sort of transitional material, but let's start breaking it down one at a time. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a power chord. Index finger, 5th fret of the 5th string, A string. Middle finger, 7th fret of the 4th string, and ring finger, 7th fret of the 3rd string. So I kind of got this D power chord here. Oh yeah, I'm in standard tuning, so nothing fancy there. And the first thing I do is a chuck. I kind of flick, I slap on the 5th string and kind of slap these two notes and pluck. And it's really like a 3-stroke groove. It's 1 and 2 and 3. It's what I call a downbeat groove, in the sense that you're flicking on the downbeat on the 1. You're like 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and... So you basically flick, pluck with the thumb, and then pluck with the finger, and then flick again. And then there are some sort of extra melody notes, and the key is you got to be ready to kind of leave these ringing. Leave the B and the E strings, the 1st and 2nd strings open. So if I'm going 1, 2, I pluck with the thumb, and then kind of on off beats, I'll use my bar to play 5 and 0 on the 1st string. So I got to kind of alternate. I got to be like, so I'm kind of like these are syncopated. They're in between my sort of basic thumb stroke. And so the melody notes basically go 5-0 on the 1st string, and then 7-0 on the 2nd string, then 7-0 on the 1st string. So if I put those all together, it'll look kind of like this. Want to leave them ringing if you can? And then there's this sort of climbing 3rd string. So the main idea here is you kind of shift from this position to, sorry about the tuning there, I'll fix that in a second. So we kind of switch over to having the ring and the pinky on the 7th fret, kind of going down in thirds. There we go. So you're on 7 and 7, and then 6 and 5, 4 and 3, and then 2 and 2. And we're going to pull off from the 7 to the 6-5. That's the basic idea. And the way we get into it, we're kind of going. So you see how I transitioned out of that? I kind of do a flick, thumb, pluck, and then when I flick, I kind of have to switch to my 3rds position, because I'm gonna I guess what you do is you'd slap on the D string here, because you're gonna go. So you want to kind of keep this D drone going, so you're gonna go. And again, it's all syncopated. It's 1 E and 2 E and we'll do that a little slower. It would be 1 E and 2 E and then you're gonna again slap on the downbeat, and you're kind of doing the same thing sort of over a G shape, almost like a G major 7 shape. So I'm 3 on the 6th string, 3 on the 2nd string, 2 on the 1st string. So you kind of hammer. So now we're kind of into another part. So I'll show you that transition at speed, and you'll see what we're doing. So if we're going last melody note, so I kind of went, oh, if I slowly do that down again. Same idea. So you go, so you kind of do 5-0 on the first string. You do 2 on the first string, open second string. So and here we kind of transition right on this downbeat. You're gonna hammer up to 3 on the second string, but kind of from like this E minor 7 shape now. So you're kind of playing an open E string now. You have your index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, the 4th string. So you have, and again, you're playing off of 5. And then you go to an A chord. So that's how the whole thing is put together. And again, it's the same. Right on the down. You're back where you started. So if I play it kind of slowish, the whole thing, see how we can do. 1, 2, here we go. Notice the muting also. Mute. And then I'm sort of back to where I started. So, second time through, same melody note starts, climbs up to 9, same idea after. So there's another transition. So when you get to here, kind of stay on the E minor where you normally go to the A. And right on that D, which is right before the 1, that's where you're kind of this second. That's where that starts. So, if we've kind of gone, again, this is all off the beat. It's really what you can think of is if you're just going boom, chick, or really you're starting with a slap, you're like boom, chick, all you do is play a melody note on every offbeat, and you kind of start right before the thumb slap. You'd be like, I guess it'd be right before that thumb slap. You're like ring finger, plucks here. Right when you hit that D right there, because you're going, right when you hit that note right there, that's sort of your first note. This groove starts on the of 4, right on the 16th before the downbeat starts. All right, let's try to break this down a little bit. So there's a couple parts here. There's like a melody part. There's a bass part which goes, and that's just sort of like, it's really just a regular like bass slap, but then you sort of play the bass note off the beat a little bit. And then there's a little voice that goes, sort of plays an inner voice. So you're listening for those three things, and I'll show you how we sequence it a little bit. So we're going to start by melody note, bass note, open E string. So just try those first three. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to kind of play that inner voice. The thumb's going to play the D string and then the G string, the fourth and the third strings. So there's your first, 5, 6 strokes. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I think, and then you're going to have a thumb slap and you're going to flick the first string. So see if you can just get up to that point. I'll go really slow. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just try to get those first 6 strokes if you need to. Slow it down. Use the tab. There's a tab. There's a link to it in the description box below. If you haven't been using it up to now, you're definitely going to want the tab for this part. So up to that flick, we have 6 strokes. Let's see where we are. Oh yeah, and then after that slap, you're going to slap on the 4th string and then play another one of these inner voices. You're going to play the 4th and then the 3rd string, your little crunchy thing. So let's see if we can add that on. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that basically, that really right there is the cycle for the right hand. It's those 8 strokes. Because then it's going to essentially repeat with some different chord shapes. So if I do that, I'll just do those 8 strokes extra slow, even slower than I did before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now you're going to repeat that same idea. You're going to lift the index finger and move it over to the B string, because your melody is going to go from the 3rd fret of the B string to the 2nd fret. And you're going to follow that with your melody fingers. So you're going to go, instead of going, you're going to go. So when you flick, you're going to flick the B string. You're going to pluck the B string twice for your melody. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. Lift that finger. Then your inner voices. 4, 5, 6 is your flick. And then 7 and 8 are your inner voices again. So if you're crazy, try to put together the first 16 strokes. Start from the first offbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to switch. Melody note first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So again, same idea, same basic strokes. We're going to move the thumb. I usually reach around with the thumb, because now our bass is going to move down to our E string. And I believe we kind of do 3 and 0. Yeah, so we do 3 and 0 for our melody. So that's the same idea. I'm going to play it really, really slow and make sure we use it. We use them. And we're going to, our bass is going to hit the thick E string and then still that F sharp on the D string. So if I play it slowly, 8 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so just to show you what we've got up to there, I'll play it a little faster. Sorry, I made a goof. And that's where we left off. Now we're going to shift things down even one more. We're going to move our pinky to the 4th fret of the G string. Thumb's still on the bass. Our ring fingers are going to go to the 4th fret of the D string, and we need of the A string, 5th string there, because our D string needs to be open, and our melody is going to be pinky on 4th of the G down to index on 2nd of the G. So we're going to be going for our melodies. So it's going to kind of wind up like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So take some time. Make sure you can transition between all of those. It took me quite a while to get used to all of those switches. One thing you might do is well, actually, you got to cross strings in some cases. But I mean, a lot of times you can just kind of do block chords. You can kind of be like, that might help to try to play through the blocks of like where your fingers shift to. But eventually, you can play it with me. I'll play it at an ultra slow tempo. I'll be like 1 and 2, and I'm gonna start on the 8. 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and back. The danger of speeding it up is that it's easy enough to screw up. So again, this might take a little bit of time to get to tempo. When it gets to tempo, it sounds like this. And that's what you're trying to go for. And when you wind up getting out of that, when you hit that last note, that's going to be your last note, and you're going to be right on the down, but you're just going to be like bass, bass. So the way I do that, I go bass, bass, flick, bass, and then pluck, slap, pluck, syncopated. So at tempo, it's kind of like, and I guess I kind of throw a pluck, flick at the end there. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the very last 2 strokes of that cycle are another bass pick. So that whole cycle repeated slowly goes like this. And back to the top. Etc., etc. Okay, I'm sorry if this lesson was rough. I filmed it on a very, very tight schedule, but it has been requested many times, and hopefully there's a slightly better film quality. Again, I think if you use the tab, and then you watch my hands and you break this down at the right pace, you will definitely get it. And it's a really fun tune when you get it together. It's one of the most creative Pluck and Chuck pieces I know of. I really, really dig it. So yeah, thanks for hanging with me, and hope you're digging the series, and catch you all on another lesson soon. Bye-bye.